the most what the frick moment with your siblings? I was winning a watermelon eating contest. My sister, realizing she could never beat me, picked up her half watermelon and bashed me in the back of the head with it, knocking me out cold. This one time I was asleep and my lil bro walked in and just got into bed with me. I was like, bro, what are you doing? This isn't your bed. To which he responds, I think I know what I'm doing, and fell asleep instantly. I said frick it and went to sleep in his bed. Haha, I had a drunk buddy do and say the exact same thing one night. I've shared this before, but it seems applicable here, if a bit more tame than many stories here. One time I walked past the bathroom to get to my room. My brother had left the door open and was standing on the toilet seat, waiting for me to pass. As he sees me, he exclaims, "This is how a man takes a dump," makes a loud HNGGGGG noise, and drops a thick log right in front of my eyes. Your brother deserves an applause. My brother tried to kill me. He was 13. I was 9. He was always a bully and picked on me relentlessly, but this day he threw me on the ground and started choking me with both hands. Not in a way like you see on TV when someone just squeezes your neck, but the correct way where you jam both thumbs into someone's trachea. Couldn't breath, couldn't gasp, just felt cold and my vision started to go to tunnel vision, then black. When I came to, my mom had hit him over the head with a broom. I don't remember much after that, but I'll never trust him. I like your mum. My brother, directly after the funeral, stole our uncle's war medals from his bedroom. His wife found out, told me and my mother, and then my mother made me sneak them back in. I had just finished riding my bike home from a friend's place to see my mom pull into the driveway. Out of the other side of the car my sister's head popped out. She'd been off to college and I didn't expect to see her. My first thought, which I openly said because I was a little crap, was, why is sis home? She get knocked up in college? Out steps my very pregnant sister. It was a rare double what the frick moment, as I was surprised to see her that freaking pregnant, and both my sister and mom were shocked at my accurate joke guess, and inappropriate guess, to be fair. Sort of similar thing happened to me. I texted my cousin on her 20th birthday, congratulations, you avoided teenage pregnancy. Turns out she had just found out she had gotten knocked up and hadn't told anybody yet. I was out on a car ride with my dad and we arrived back at the house at like 3 AM. My front door opens straight into my kitchen and I throw open the door expecting an empty kitchen, only to see my brother butt naked standing in front of the sink. I screamed, why the frick are you naked? He scrambled back to the shower. Apparently he was mid-shower. His back hurt, so he went to the kitchen to start heating water for a hot water bottle for his back, and just stopped to have a snack or something while waiting for the water to boil, all while leaving the shower running. My dad still laughs about it. What else are you supposed to do when you get hungry? You get naked and eat. My half siblings are 8 and 9 years younger than me. On one Sunday morning I woke up to laughter and weary sounds coming from downstairs. I went to investigate and found that they had emptied a carton of milk, through which they were now sliding around on the floor, naked. I'm imagining you are all in your 40s. Sister logged into my RuneScape account and finished the Dragon Slayer quest that 10-year-old me with limited playtime had spent months to gear up for. I was devastated. I was sitting in front of the television one day when my sister walked behind me. She threw a little bouncy ball at me. It bounced off my head, hit the television, bounced back off my head and back at her. She was so surprised that it was such a perfect shot that she decided to try again to repeat it. I was so happy that my sister was playing with me that I sit there as she threw this ball at my head trying to repeat the shot for like a half hour. Dude, that's so depressing. My family decided to spend Christmas in Mexico at an all-inclusive resort after I had moved across the country for work. My siblings and I were sharing a room. One night my brother gets in late from drinking. I wake up and see him standing over my luggage. I say, what the frick are you doing? He says, taking a fricking pee. I was furious. He never did really apologize. One time, we were staying at a resort type thing, and my dad came home drunk late at night. I woke up and there was an entire slice of pizza in my shoe. My sister cut my hangy down thingy that connects my upper lip with my gums with a pair of scissors while I was asleep. The internet tells me this is called the frenulum. We were naughty best of friends growing up. Watching TV with my older sister. She gets up, walks over to the house phone, and picks it up. "Hello," she said. "Yes, he is." One moment. She covers the microphone. "It's for you." Bin thick. Crazy. I didn't hear it ring. I think to myself. I walk to the phone. My sister begins savagely beating me with the corded phone. For no reason. She concocted a ruse just to beat me with a phone. When I was 16, I went with my family to visit my grandfather at the old folks home. Well, I ended up striking a conversation with another guy there who had an Irish accent. After a few minutes, my then 7-year-old brother asks this guy, "Why are you talking Mexican?" He just laughed, but I was so embarrassed that I didn't know how to react. When I was about 4, my parents told my brother, aged 13, to take my sister and I for a walk for an hour. I think my parents wanted some private time. He took us for a walk, alright. We were gone for 12 hours. My parents were frantic and the police were looking for us. God knows what he was thinking, but he's always been a bit of an idiot. My sister discovered her inner thinking voice when she was like 4. She came downstairs into the kitchen totally distraught and said, "Who is talking to me all whole time? Everywhere I go somebody talks to me about the things I do, but I can't see anybody." Came downstairs from being asleep. Living room is in disarray. Blood drops are on the floor and I see little flecks here and there on the wall. I say to my GF, "What the frick happened? Concerned someone got injured or something." "Your brothers had a scissor fight," she tells me. "A scissor fight?" "Yes. Those two freaking brain surgeons took up craft scissors and went at each other in my living room while my, no doubt horrified, GF watched on in shock and awe. They were gone by the time I woke up, thank Christ, but the evidence was hard to miss. I was this close to beating M. Bison in Street Fighter 2 and my big brother pulled the plug because he wanted me out of the room to smoke weed with his buddies. A case of justifiable fratricide if I ever did hear one. The time I came home from school and found a horse in the garden, which my brother had bought from nearby gypsy campsite. How wonderful. Told my sister to come inside for dinner. She was hitting balls down our driveway with a field hockey stick. She immediately turned and swung full force into my face, breaking my nose and deviating my septum. That was 20 years ago and she won't talk to me because I've wronged her in the past. I can't breathe out my right nostril. I've had a deviated septum repair that reverted. You're not alone. At least it makes my wife smile when she can hear my nose whistle. My brother and I used to share a room when we were kids. One day I woke up and saw my brother standing in the middle of the room trying to mount a toy gun on his dong. Hey, sometimes you need protection. Probably when I was 9 and my older brother was 13. We were home watching TV one day during the summer. He was flipping through channels and stopped on an episode of Donahue that featured a male stripper right in the middle of his routine with an audience of middle-aged women cheering. He put the remote down and excitedly said, "We're watching this." He's now married with 2 kids and is aspiring to be a Baptist minister. He gay. So gay. I tell this story anytime I get a chance to embarrass my brother. I was about 9, making him about 6. Thanksgiving dinner at our grandparents' house. We were both in the kitchen together, just the 2 of us, each with a slice of pumpkin pie. My little brother grabs the salt shaker from the table, slowly unscrews the cap, dumps the entire shaker of salt on his pie, and eats the whole thing, making eye contact with me the whole time. He had this look like he knew what he was doing, so I didn't question it. 20 minutes later, he is chasing a cousin through the hall. He dead stops, says, "Oh," and projectile vomits all over the walls and floor. He is descended upon by adults asking him what the matter is. His response? "Too much salt." I was the only one who knew what he meant. Why though? It was pretty awkward when he knocked on my bedroom door to give me condoms when my boyfriend was over, but also very nice of him to be worried about me like that. The what the frick moment comes from his girlfriend later that day sharing with me, "I know you probably don't want to know this, but your brother's dong is huge." I super did not want to know that. Frick you. Shannon. My poor brother shares your pain. He had a party at our place when I was 18 and me and my then boyfriend were there, and then boyfriend gets really drunk, walks up to my brother and says, "Hey, I'm probably gonna sleep with your sister tonight." Spoiler. He then went upstairs and passed out in bed, alone. My brother still makes fun of me, cringes at that to this day. When I was young, about 13, my family was leaving my grandparents' house after a weekend visit. It was a long drive home, about 4 hours. I had to pee really bad and my parents hated stopping, so I discreetly grabbed my empty Mountain Dew bottle and emptied my bladder into it. It wasn't hard to hide being in the backseat of an SUV. Well, I put it under the seat after I was finished, and when I got home I totally forgot about it. My parents cleaned out the car later and my thought was they threw it away. Nope. They placed it in the fridge thinking it was a half full bottle of pop. Well, I only figured this out because my sister took a drink out of it and screamed. She said it must have been old and been in there forever because it tasted horrible. I was horrified, but I took it from her. Fake smelled it and threw it away, saying, "Yeah, that's disgusting." I have never told her or anyone for that matter what really happened. My little sister looked at me dead-eyed once and told me, "You have demons in you. You need to get them out," or something along those lines. I asked her WTF she was talking about and she just kinda went back to doing her thing. The girl was like 8, so I don't think she was trying to troll me. Also, she ran my GBA under running water once. My favorite story is that I once went outside at 1 AM to watch a meteor shower and my brother's bedroom window faced the backyard. I don't know why he was up. He was maybe 12 at the time, and I hear him open the window and shout, "Who's out there?" I reply, "Just me," and he says, "Oh, I'll be right out." My brother gets out of bed at 1 in the morning, puts on some shoes and comes outside and says, "So what are we doing?" The kid was forever down for late night adventures apparently. This was awesome. Wish I had a little brother like this. My brother and I were in our early teens. Mom and dad divorced when we were 4-6-ish. Mom never dated anyone. One day we found a sausage in a tied up condom. Pukes were had. Well, at least you know what to get her for Christmas. My sister spoiled Dumbledore's death for me. She read the Half-Blood Prince in 24 hours. Asked me if I wanted to know what happened. I said no. She told me anyway. I'm still mad. Frick you, Laura. My sister complaining bitterly about, "Why do you get a new car and your own apartment?" The answer was, "Because I work for a living," which apparently was a deeply offensive thing to say. Go figure. One of my sisters and I shared a room. One day she showed me her jewelry box, which was full of her petrified toilet paper wrapped poops. She then proceeded to show me how to do it by laying toilet paper across the toilet seat and said I could save my poops too. Yeah, I took a pass on that one. I don't even. What? When my mom was terminally ill, I was her caretaker. My sister was the only other family we had here. My grandparents and aunt all lived about 1,000 miles away at the time. My husband and I had taken on pretty much everything. Getting mom to the doctor, doing repairs and maintenance on her house, often out of our own pockets since mom was on an extremely fixed income and medical bills took up every penny, doing the grocery shopping for her, cooking, cleaning, etc. I spent almost every single day after work at my mom's house, and then hours every weekend. I only ever got a break if I was sick and couldn't be around her, and then my sister would begrudgingly agree to go check on mom. I found out during the last few months of mom's life when my grandparents and aunt finally came to visit that my sister had been telling them she was the one doing all of that stuff for mom. That she was making out like I never lifted a finger and she was the only one being an adult and taking care of things. Needless to say, mom set them all straight pretty fast. It was just really hurtful because I'd given up so much to care for mom, including putting off having kids because I couldn't trust that my sister would help care for her if I was pregnant. And it turns out that my only shot at having kids would have been during those years I was busy taking care of mom, because my ovaries pretty much failed earlier than usual. My sister contributed a lot financially, and I'm grateful that she did. But I guess she felt like that didn't make her look good enough to our family, and so she made up all that crap about how she did everything and I did nothing. Honestly, it's been nearly 3 years now and a part of me is still bitter towards her for it. I've never confronted her about it because she tends to go all revisionist history with things and it'd be pointless, but it really hurt. Spent months and months grinding to get my Raichu to level 100 in Pokemon Leaf Green. Really proud and felt like I peaked at age 9. One evening, my parents forced me to give up my GBA to my sister because she's whiny and 7. Takes all of my OP attacks and replaces them with HMs. Devastated and will never forgive her. Yes, I know there is a move delete guy, but I was 9 and didn't know how to internet yet or anything. It's okay, I never knew there was a move deleter until I played Pokemon Platinum. I was also that guy who didn't have an hum slave, so my starter always knew cut. My brother severely hurt his right leg in a work accident. His doctors tried to save his leg, but ultimately he ended up getting it amputated. So, before he had it amputated, he got around on crutches or, on a day where he was in pain, a wheelchair. During this time I moved back home to help him get around and sew things that he couldn't do. One thing he loves doing is building computers and video games. I would take him to electronic shops and follow him around as he bought games and stuff for his computer. We would go shopping like this more than once a week. I never minded because he's family and we get along really well. We got to know a lot of the staff at these shops. One time I was looking at some DVDs on my own when one of the guys we'd gotten to know came up to me to ask if I needed help. And then he says, "You are a pretty cool girlfriend. You never seem bored or annoyed that your boyfriend spends so much time with his computer." I was so shocked I didn't reply right away, but then I made a super disgusted face and said, "He's my brother." Cue super awkward moment, which doubled when my brother came by to tell me we could go and called me Boo, which is a nickname I've had my whole life, that my brother gave me. It was so embarrassing. My mom was recently divorced and had a friend with a daughter my age. Let's call him Mark. The daughter and I were both 14 and got a lot of alone time together. So obviously there was some mutual experimenting. Well, it got really weird about 2 years later when my mom and Mark announced they were getting married and I was going to have a new stepsister. Never trust daughters who are called Mark. I came home from college for Thanksgiving and the very first thing my brother says to me is, "If you think about it, forgive me father for I have sinned," is just a fancy way of saying sorry daddy, I've been bad. Then, during Thanksgiving dinner, he looked down, patted his stomach and softly said, "Hey babe, ready for round 2? Cause I sure am," and then he got up and got another helping of turkey and mashed potatoes. Not the most WTF, but one we still like to joke about. My grandmother generally sends us all cards at Christmas, but a few years ago we all got our cards in the mail and things didn't quite match up. My oldest sister and I got the usual cards with sweet heartfelt messages from our grandma. My other sister got that and $100. We still call her the $100 grandchild when we're headed to family gatherings. My grandmother only has photos of me and my sister in her house. I pointed out to her that she has 12 grandkids and that they'll get offended if they notice her picking favorites. Her response: "They should have worked harder to be my favorites." My sister called a German shepherd a shepherd's pie. It still makes me wonder if I was adopted. TLDR version: younger sister grabbed my dong. Long version: my sister and I are 2 years apart in age, she being the younger sibling. Back in the day, we would get up around 5 AM to start getting ready for school. At this time, we were sharing a bedroom, as we had moved in with my aunt for a couple of months until my mom could find a job and a place to rent. One day our alarm clock doesn't go off, so we're rushing around to get ready. We're in the bathroom brushing our teeth after eating a hasty breakfast. I don't remember what I did to her, but I know I annoyed her in some fashion while I was standing behind her. Now, my sister has this uncanny knack of being able to grab a muscle and frogging it with just one hand. She attempted to do this to my leg. I dodged, but not fast enough. Instead of getting a handful of thigh muscle, she got a handful of dong. We were both startled. Our eyes met in the mirror, and we both had a WTF look on our faces. She hurried out of the bathroom, and we didn't speak to each other for the rest of the day. We never mentioned it to each other or anyone else we know, because frankly it's just weird. Used to keep my pot up in one of my ceiling tiles when I was a teen. Sister finds it, invites 15 friends over and they cumulatively smoke an ounce of my crap. Get home to find my box with about a bowl left, and then I'm the one who gets in trouble for having pot. I would be so freaking pee if that happened to me. I would have robbed her butt back. Not something my siblings did, but something I did. One time when I was really little, like 2 or 3, my mom overheard me in my sister's bathroom singing to myself. She got closer and I was singing about cleaning my bottom when my mom opened the door and saw me using my sister's electric toothbrush turned on to clean my butthole. Not necessarily WTF, but my brother got drunk at a restaurant and loudly came out to my conservative Christian parents as B heads turned to see my parents trying to not cry. Good times. Probably that time I found my brother trying on my underwear. To clarify, he was probably like 7 at the time, so there really wasn't anything creepy about it. It was just weird. It's a toss-up between 2 things that happened yesterday and trying to steal my niece's carnival prize, like rip it from her hands. She bought a surprise puppy for my mom and surprised us yesterday morning, because ignoring all the pets most of the time gives her the right to buy another animal for the rest of us to take care of. We got a refund and the puppy is back with the breeder. Later that night, she yelled at me for stopping my 3-year-old niece from literally running with scissors. Don't tell me to contact CPS. I'm working through things with a lawyer and gathering evidence to have a 100% open and shut case to evict my sister and receive custody at the same time to prevent a kidnapping. You absolute monster, not letting a 3-year-old run around with scissors. If this needs a S, I will ban myself from the internet forever. I'm a guy. I was 8 at the time, and my older brother was 11. I knew nothing about sex. I'm assuming he just learned the details. He comes upstairs and says, "Hey, can I put my penis in your butthole?" I didn't know what to say, and after some silence I said no. He then said, "Can I at least put my penis into your mouth?" I said no again, and I was really confused about the whole thing. Well, at least he asked and took no as an answer. Little sister faked cancer. I live in the UK studying and parents didn't tell me because they had suspected the truth. Made us feel like buttholes at times, because what if she really did? But father, mailman, has a bunch of doctors en route and he would tell crazy crap she would tell us. Burns from chemo. Don't have to pay because she knew someone. Was still out partying and getting drunk. Would take time off of work due to treatment and her cancer survivor boss was all supportive at first. Mimicked the exact cancer types that took both sides of grandparents, with symptoms of my mother added in. Was massive rift in family, but about 2 years ago she just stopped talking about it. It turns out BF broke up with her and that was her way to get attention. But I lost all respect after that crap. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.